I'm very pleased to introduce you to our next guest, Olivera Böhm, as announced. Olivera, you are Chief Corporate and Affinity Business Officer and member of the Business Executive Board at Uniqa. Welcome. I'm happy you made it.
Thank you, Heidi. Hello.
So you are responsible for 620 million of premium volume. I have to read it from my card, otherwise I could forget the number, in the Uniqa-Gruppe and in CE. And we're talking about ensuring diversity and about insurances for companies and for your corporate partners. This can mean the one-woman show. This can be SMEs or industrial groups. So relatively early in your career, you knew that it has to be like the corporate thing, this industrial business. And for many years until now, it hasn't let you go. So we talked previously, we had an article about you, and it seemed to me that you know a lot of companies from inside. So can be a bakery, a barber shop, or a paper mill, or a brewery. So it seemed to me there's hardly no company you haven't seen yet. And the products that you bring to your customers seem to be very tailor-made because they're so different. Is this the case?
Indeed, Heidi. It's really like this. It's that each and every company is completely different. Yeah, I mean, even if the products are the same, yeah, it could be a very modern new company. It could be a company which is already since 100 years established, and sometimes I can say it's in the middle of a city. Sometimes it's built on the green field, and the speciality is really to help the company owner, the risk engineers in the company to find where are the risks, what can happen, and especially also taking into consideration now the change in the environment and all these topics. I would say that the insurance industry can do a lot for the big companies simply to help to find what is the risks and also to think where we can support with the risks. Yeah.
And there is a lot of knowledge behind this. There's a lot of consulting in your job, and I think that your partners can learn a lot of your experience you have from probably other companies or other industries. But how do you weigh risks? I mean, there are it's a nearly insane number of situations like the pandemic at the moment and this business interruptions that you can't foresee. So how do you manage to do this?
Actually, Heidi, it is like this, that our industry, the insurance industry, is working as a collective. We bundle the risks of several things and then bear the risk of one company where something happens. Yeah? So that's the foundation, that's the basis of the insurance business. And to work, our topic is really to find out what is the need. I mean, a pandemic, you cannot foresee, you cannot really master this in advance. You have now to really help to understand and to help in this situation where we are in. Yeah? So you have to find out where are the supply chains, where our customers have difficulties to get what they need, how we can help them, insure them, change the transport routes. So there are a lot of things where simply we as industry, we can help in identifying or taking certain risks, because this is what we are used. We are used to model risks, to understand risks, and somehow to bring them together to make it possible that the entire group can bear the risk, because this is the foundation of our business. Yeah.
But I have to stay on this topic. I mean, we are also confronted recently with like natural disasters. We have floods, we have fires, earthquakes, volcanoes not stopping to spy lava. I mean, there's also a huge aspect of sustainability at the moment, and I guess there are many companies you're working with that say that sustainability is a definite focus, not only now, but especially for the future. How do you deal with it?
Actually, our industry can do a lot in this field, yeah, because on the one hand side, we are used, as I said, to analyze risks. We are used to model them. We know also the past, how many floodings, how many...
you have a lot of data.
Exactly, we have a lot of data, and our job is really now to bring in all these new effects and also to find out, okay, how we as industry can support the entire economy for insuring certain risks. Yeah? Yeah. And on the other hand side, also a big topic is that we can help the one and each and every company, because we saw different how you can mitigate risks, how you can also reduce your CO2 emissions. So you can. Our biggest job, I would say, is that with our risk engineers and with the knowledge we have, we directly influence and support the companies in reducing their emissions and really helping the entire environment to get sustainable. Because I think we are a big pillar in the entire economy, and what we can bring is really the knowledge of the different industries, because this is I would say very unusual, because usually the industry stays in their field, but we have the view over all of them. Yeah.
I mean, I would go a step further and say it's a very powerful situation you're in, because you have the power to guide also some of your industry into a better future.
Exactly.
Having said the climate goals and I mean, putting your knowledge there where it's needed and where it has to be.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as I said, the insurance industry can do on the one hand side on the risk itself a lot. On the other hand side, you have to see that we are one of the biggest investor, because we as insurance industry, we have to invest our clients' money. We are getting premiums, and we know the loss will at one day come, but in the meantime we are investing this money, so therefore we are definitely one of the biggest investor. And with the ESG rules and we can really influence quite a lot, because we can decide if we invest into companies which are sustainable, which are really following into a better future. And I think this is a part where again we can do a lot, and we can shape a lot, and we can support a lot. Yeah.
And the numbers were quite good. I mean, I had really a laugh if I read the lines of your CEO, Mr. Brandstedt, who was kind of surprised how good they were. Yeah. So despite the crisis we're all going through, and he said, well, well done.
Again, our industry is a sustainable one. Yeah, it's not. I mean, we didn't made our results in the last quarter. Yeah. We do this over decades, sometimes over 100 years, and that's how we have to see even the risks behind. Yeah.
Let's talk about the affinity part of your job, because many think that this corporate affinity business is the future of insurance itself. So probably it would be good to explain the term to our viewers as you explained it to me, because I really had no idea what it meant. And please also explain the benefit for the customers.
The affinity businesses, I mean, we have very interesting customers. As you explained, there are small companies, big companies, there are completely different companies. And the affinity is simply to connect insurance services to our customers' core product. So if your core product is the newspaper,
yes,
then we can think together, Heidi, what we can do that the service your customer, the reader of the newspaper, can enjoy it even more, or what can happen to your customer where we as insurance company can support. And this can be different services. I mean, you can say, okay, somebody read your newspapers during walking around and broke his leg. Yeah, this could be a connection to your product. I mean, it's a very far away product. Yeah, I know, but I mean, everybody's used when you buy a mobile phone to get a warranty insurance, to get a glass breakdown. This is Affinity, where we really think what is the core product of our customer and how we can connect this with additional services so that the end customer realize I have much more than I had just this one product.
Okay.
I get some insurance services.
So you have the services behind the product without having to give a thought about it and be safe.
Exactly.
On the safe side. All right. So we have a little time left, but I don't want to dismiss you without talking about you as a person, because I think you're a huge role model. You are really a self-made woman to me. You literally began from nowhere and stepped up to the executive board from this huge company. I mean, it's second biggest insurance group in our country. So you started as an apprentice.
Yes.
And I always had the feeling that at the beginning, no one really believed in your talents except yourself. Yeah. So what I really would like to have is for our viewers at home and for those young people who want to achieve such a career as yours, is there any tip you can give them just to get there where you are? I mean, you've kind of made it, you know.
Thank you, Heidi. Yes, I mean, I always say you have to find your passion. That's the foundation. That's the basis. You have to find what you really love, where you really can find your best ways to contribute. And once you detected what is really where you have your passion, you have simply to believe in yourself, and you have simply to go the steps which are necessary. And they are not the easy ones. Yeah, the easy ones everybody is going, but you have to say, okay, I see myself in a certain field, and if it's not in this company, I will change it. I will go to the next. And this is where I always said, okay, this is how you have to go it. You have to do it. I mean, nobody wakes up, especially if he has my roots, to say I will become whatever, a managing director of whatever. You have to go the steps, really step by step, but you have to be consequent in what you do, and really do not lose your passion, because it is the fire in your heart. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is it like, I feel really motivated to say so, but are you mentoring also young women in your company, for example?
Yes, okay. We just started recently a mentoring program.
That's good to hear.
Which is great, but to be very frank, even without mentoring program, it doesn't need the program itself. It is important that you find interesting women, that you really explore them, that you give them the chance, and that you really support. And this is what, to my best, what I could do was in the Central Eastern European region, where I really had the chance to support a lot of very talented, great women, and this is a joy for both, I always say. Yeah, you see how it is developing, and you know that you do the right things because it pays back with excellent results.
Wise words at the end of our talk. I'm so glad you made it, Olivera. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for contributing, and thank you also for your patience and for your interest.